Hello everyone and welcome to the latest devlog for Vengeful Rites, a virtual reality RPG. My name's Anthony, and in today's devlog I'd like to introduce you guys to the new dungeon that you'll be traversing throughout the course of the chapter, which is this place. Dungeon may not seem like the most appropriate name. I know it's very bright and sunny and colorful, but I can assure you that many of you will die while you're here, so don't let the locale fool you. We just wanted to change things up. The first two chapters have a bit of a dreary sort of feel to them. You know, you're in a rainy swamp with undead skeletons or in a cave deep underground, and it seemed like a good time to let you get some fresh air finally and enjoy the colorful atmosphere that we have to provide you with here. And I don't want to show you too much of the area, but I will give you a brief rundown of how it works. So in the previous devlog, I showed you guys Captain Ghostbeard in the dock scene once you exit the Seraphim Castle, and once you've completed the task for Captain Ghostbeard, he'll allow you to use him as a sort of ferry, and he will bring you to this island where you can gain entry to this complex, which is broken into different paths, each of which dedicated to the different parts of combat in the game. So by that what I mean is, to my right you have the archery section. To my left immediately, you've got your sword section, these are the path of the archer and the swordsman respectively. And over yonder, I don't know if you guys can see that glowing blue light coming out of the wall there. That is the entrance to the path of the mage. And you're sort of charged with completing each of these paths with the various enemies and sort of challenges that they provide you, and once you've completed them, you'll earn a talisman signifying that you've completed that path, which you can then place into the door up here to progress to the final boss and complete the chapter. I don't want to give too much away, so I won't be showing you many of the puzzles. In fact, I've completed a few of them so I can traverse a little bit without giving away how you're meant to solve them. But beyond that, Chapter 3 brings with it some new magic stuff, which I'm really excited about because I love the magic in the game. And the first thing I'll mention about that is, I don't know if you've played the game, you'll be familiar with the idea of unlocking spells as you go. So we've got different disciplines of magic, being destruction, protection, kinesis, and restoration. And those all serve different purposes. And destruction, obviously, is the means by which you destroy things and kill enemies. And that still feels really cool to me, just blasting out a wave of fire. But with Chapter 3, instead of getting a new means of using that, which you already have a few, especially if you've gone down the magical trait path and you have your ultimate, which I just did, which murders everything around you with fire. But now you actually unlock new elements for your destruction, which have varying effects, and they allow you to do a few new things. So for example, now you've got electricity or lightning magic, which has all of the same spells that you're familiar with, just with the lightning version of them, which is more than just a recolor. It actually affects things in the game. So for example, you may come across something that needs to be charged, you'll have to blast it with electricity, or if you use it on enemies, it will create a chain lightning effect that will bounce from enemy to enemy. And then you also have frost magic, which, same deal, you get all of these, and it will chill enemies or potentially freeze certain things in the environment for, different interactions that you'll have. And archers, you haven't been shafted here. You also gain access to these new types of magic for your enchanted arrows if you've gone that path. And this one is probably the most broken, this frost one, which I'm kind of okay with, but basically it'll allow you to kite enemies much more easily, since once they've been chilled, they become much slower, and you'll actually be able to avoid them until they're dead, probably. Maybe not. It may need to be balanced. I think it's probably fine the way it is right now. Beyond that, we also have some new interactions with your Kinesis, which I showed in the previous one, how you can change the way that you rotate objects for more fine-tuning. If you want to, for example, place a plank or something on the ground to create a bridge. But now we also have, and this is long overdue, the ability to just sort of tug things into your hand. Previously, if you wanted to bring this to you, for example, you'd have to do this, and it takes a little while. It's not too bad, but it would be nice if you could just bring it quickly, and now you can. So I'm pretty happy to finally get that in the game. And there is also some new functionality with your Illusory Shield, which I'll demonstrate on your goblin boy over here. I don't want to show you guys too much of the level because, you know, I don't want to spoil much, and also because it's pretty nice. It's pretty, not even complete. It's technically complete. You could play from beginning to end, but we're in the process of redesigning the entire thing, or the visuals of it at least. It used to be just sort of a desert, palm trees and, you know, mountains around. It didn't have any of this architecture stuff, and we weren't really feeling it, so we decided to improve the look of it pretty substantially, and it's coming together pretty nicely. We're pretty happy with it, but it's taking a little bit longer, so shouldn't be too much longer. As I said, it is technically playable from beginning to end. We just need to get that stuff finished to get everything, you know, as presentable as we would like it. You may have seen some text just come up across the screen when I walked over here. That is because I entered the Path of the Archer, which has you doing, surprise, a lot of archery. And arrows in the game are limited. You can see I've got this 12 on my bow. So normally when I would grab an arrow and fire it, I would lose arrows. Go figure. But when you're on the Path of the Archer, you don't have to worry about that. You'll have infinite, and that'll be pretty useful. But let me demonstrate this now. So your Illusory Shield now has the added functionality, besides just blocking enemies, to be able to actually shield bash them. Which that's pretty unlikely that he'll get knocked down like that. But it kind of functions as a single target, nice kinetic thrust. But for cheaper mana, as you might imagine, because it's single target, and it just gives you a little more functionality, and it feels pretty cool, and more of a reason to use your shield in the middle of combat. Something else that's been added to the game is this Flappy Boy that you see in front of me, and he is one of Dragor's Watchers. And if you're familiar with the game, Dragor is the main antagonist that you're dealing with in the game. He kills your master very early on, and you're pretty much on a mission to find and kill him, get revenge, and prevent him from raising his armies to come murder all of mankind. That old chestnut. So this is one of his Watchers, one of his minions that you'll find throughout the course of the game. These have been retrofitted into chapters 1 and 2 as well. And they provide you with an essence of the other world, which is where they and Dragor are from. And that is useful for crafting. So if you've played the game, you may know that we have the ability to craft swords, which you can do by mining iron ore throughout the game and discovering recipes. You don't have any recipes by default. You have to actually find them, and they're hidden. So a lot of people probably will miss quite a few of them. But we've given everybody this recipe for a sword called Vengeance, which requires these essences to craft. So if you want to get that sword, which you will, trust me, because it's going to be the best sword in the game by a pretty significant margin, you're going to want to find all of these guys. And they're not super hidden, but you may have to be pretty thorough to find them. And if you do, then you'll have that plus the iron once you've collected it to be able to make that sword, which is basically your master sword. And it's pretty dope. And the reason it's so dope is because if swords in the game have the ability to be enchanted, which you can see this sort of green writing going along this that can be activated. This allows me to use lifesteal when I'm fighting enemies. And then we also have another type of weapon called scepters, which gives you more magical efficiency. So you can cast spells for cheaper, and you have the potential to cast them for free. And this sword Vengeance that you'll be able to craft does both of those things. It's the only weapon in the game that can be enchanted and has those effects. Also, it hits like a truck. So, you know, it's definitely worth taking your time to find all of these Watchers and collect their essences. I don't want to show you too much of the level for the reasons I mentioned, but I think you probably get the idea here. And if not, I've already solved a couple of these puzzles. So the idea is that on each of these paths, you'll have different challenges to overcome, being both enemies and sort of these puzzle set pieces, which once you solve them, you'll be able to progress and work your way toward the boss of the area, get your talisman, and move on. And I think that's probably all I want to say. I've already done a few of them here, so I don't want to show you too much of it. But, one other thing worth mentioning is we've added some new functionality to the menu, which is you can switch between your trigger and grip button for your primary grab button. So if you're playing on an Index or on the Rift on the Steam version, you currently have to grab everything with your trigger button, which is functional, but may not feel that great. With that, you can actually grab everything with the grip. You can climb and do everything as you might hope to. And it sort of switches your magic menu over to the trigger button and a few other things. But I think I'll probably stop showing you the new stuff here. I think I've gone over everything that I wanted to show. I'll mention that we are currently on sale right now for the Steam Summer Sale. We're 33% off. The Morrigan, which is another great VR RPG that we've bundled with, is also on sale. And with the two of them, with the bundle deal, I think it's pretty much a buy one, get one free situation. So you can get both games for less than the price of one, which is a stellar deal. They're both a lot of fun. We have a demo that you can download and try if you haven't played the game yet, so you can start your adventure for free, and if you like it, continue on from where you left off. Your save progress carries over. And yeah, I think that about sums it up. I'll put a link to the store page and our Discord in the description below, so if you'd like to keep track of development, the Discord's a great place to do it. Also subscribe for future devlogs. And that's going to do it for this one, guys. I will see you later.